Hello, everyone. Welcome to MyWebUniversity, my YouTube channel. Last night, I made this video, Ollama on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. And the video was about 3 hours long, 2 hours and 55 minutes. Unfortunately, after 12 minutes or 13 minutes, when I posted it, I noticed that the video's contents were not updating after 12 minutes and 34 seconds. So when I said, what is the structure of this video discussion, and then the content was not getting updated, it was just showing that slide, and that was the structure of the video, and that was not going to the next slide. So I made that one as coming up next. Now I'm going to make the entire video again. Hopefully, if my resources are not causing the issue, it should not go to that issue again. And I'm going to detect that one. You might be asking, like, why you're making a video like this and why you're spending time. I don't need to know that those information. Just get it over with it and just put the video that you can post. The reason I'm doing it is all for students and developers and everybody to learn these things. And then when I'm troubleshooting in the middle of something, this might also be a good troubleshooting technique that we say, what caused that one? Was it a network issue? Was it the bandwidth or the memory that was causing it? What the software was it? Hardware? Anything? And then if it doesn't continue in the past number of videos that I posted, 1.8K, and I have never went to that issue that it would record up to 12 minutes, and after that one, the Zoom would not update it. But sometimes IT stuff is full of these kind of things, so that's why I'm going to make the video again, and I'm giving you a heads up. That's why I make this video 12 minutes and 34 seconds with upcoming next, and I'm just making the actual video now, and that is this video. So let's go through a slideshow here. In this video, I'm going to be discussing about Ollama on Red Hat Enterprise Linux on a VM, a virtual machine, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. So, hey, Linux users, Linux lovers, AI enthusiasts, welcome back to my web channel, which is MyWebUniversity at youtube.com. So today I'm diving into Ollama, which is the free new open source software which runs large language models, Meta AI, locally on your own personal computers. Whether you have a personal computer that is Mac OS X, a Unix-based BSD version, or Linux Fedora, which could be Linux Fedora could be Red Hat, could be Fedora itself, could be Rocky, could be CentOS. Those are Fedora distribution, or Debian distribution like Linux Mint, Linux Arc, and Linux Kali Linux, and maybe Linux Ubuntu. Any of those distribution, you could just say that, well, you're having the Debian version. On the Debian itself also has its own distribution and its own version. So it also runs on Windows platform. And since most of you guys are already running maybe Ollama or running a Windows operating system, I already made a video for Windows operating system, but this video is entirely dedicated for Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. So what is Ollama? Ollama is an open source framework that lets you run powerful large language models. Large language models, or the Meta AI kind of data, which is metadata or data about data. That's what it means. Meta means about. So when you say metadata, is data about data. That's what is talked about. But Meta AI is about artificial intelligence. That's what that means. So and this is the nice thing about Ollama. Even though it's open source, it's free, but you can run it on your own local machine. Whether you have a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9, CentOS, Rocky, Fedora, Ubuntu, Debian, any of those ones, you could run it on any Linux platform as well as Mac. Mac is, as you know, is OS X, but it's Darwin BSD version, which is a Unix. Sun Solaris is also based on BSD. BSD is the Berkeley Software Distribution version of Unix, and that later on OpenBSD was introduced and FreeBSD was introduced, and then Sun Solaris, Sun OS was based on BSD, and Mac OS X is also based on BSD. So please stick around for a quick demo, some best practices, tips, and of course a handy PDF file that I will make it available for you on the description of my video. So let's get started with this one. This was the previous video that I made last night, and since after 12 minutes 34 seconds, it froze on one of the slides. And then I just said, okay, I'm going to mark it as coming up next. So you guys know that what is going to come. If I could make it tonight successfully, I'll post it. If not, maybe next weekend, because I'm only going to be available on the weekends nowadays. My work is really, really busy. We're all working so hard, so I cannot just do it in the after hours anymore. And then I'm getting tired, and I'm just going to make it only on the weekends when I have time. So I'll make it tonight. If it's not succeeded, then I'll just make it next weekend. Run Ollama on a large language model, Meta AI, locally on your computer. So this is the topic of tonight. And then Ollama website, which is ollama.com, which is a secure page, HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol secure. And the lock that you see is the private key, public key, 2 keys, SSL, TLS stuff. SSL stand for socket layer, secure socket layer, and then TLS is transport layer socket services. So if you just look at this one, basically between the client and the server, every transaction, every packet that is going on the network and is going in a secure manner, which means man-in-the-middle attack could not be just sniffing into your packets and then read in between and just get clear text information. Everything is in encryption mode and decrypted on the client and the server side. So that is safe. The Ollama website is this model that is going to show all the list of libraries. So from the GitHub, basically all the large language model and the model list, all of them are available. And then these other ones for Discord and Turbo, which they charge like $20, even though it's free, yes, but if you're using their GPU and then maybe having some kind of features that is not running on your local machine, they want to charge for that hardware. And then because they have to maintain it, they have to air condition it, they have to have the data center, all of that. Somebody is like backing up, or some of them are doing administration tasks, a lot of installation configuration. So they just have to make the service for something. But if you're doing it on your local machine, everything is free. So you go to this download, you get these 3 platforms, Mac OS X, Linux, and Windows. And when you want to install it on Mac and Windows, these 2 come as a package. If you have Windows automatically detects your operating system, then it is going to just be on Windows. If you have Mac connecting to HTTPS ollama.com, it will automatically detect your OS as Mac, and then it tells you that you can install the Mac OS X package. These are self-contained packages, so you could just click on it and then it's automatically go through next, and then install Ollama. You don't have to know anything. It's basically just a few buttons that you click on these 2. On the Linux side, you have the option of installing on any Linux platform, whether it's Fedora or the Debian distribution or any other ones, then you just run curl. The requirement is that you have to have curl or wget or something, and then you just get this binary, which is install.sh, a shell script, and then you just pass it on to curl as argument, pipe it to Bourne shell, and then Bourne shell sh is going to execute it, then installing Ollama under user local bin, and then start the services, enable the service daemons, which is Ollama services, and then after that one, it is start the process, and you can execute commands, and I'll show you all of that. This one, download the Ollama page. I made it a little bit bigger so you can see the screen, and if I'm on the Linux, I added this line, say Ollama for Linux Red Hat Enterprise 9, because I'm trying to be more specific what you're going to see, and I put the Red Hat here, and then curl, there's the command, and these are the arguments, and then this is the URL, pipe it to Bourne shell, and then you just run it and execute it, and it will install it for you, as I said earlier. So just going back here, this page, and then right here, I just already showed you this page, so I'm going to come in here. So this video is going to be about Ollama on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9, and this is going to be a full course. And so I'm going to talk about the structure of this course. This video has a structure, so I want to just follow the structure as I go through it, right? And then the table of content for the structure of this course is start with logging into Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. So I'll demo how you log into Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. And then right now I'm already running it. So if you're not running it, I'll show you how to run it there. Display system information on the operating system. So every operating system, you have to know that what version of operating system you run. For example, the requirement for Windows platform is Windows 10 or Windows 11 or Windows 10 or later. So if I have Windows 11, I have to make sure that I have Windows 11. On Red Hat, if it is a Linux requirement, then I could just install it on 8 or 9 or 10, doesn't matter, and then I'm testing it on 9. Similarly, discuss operating system distribution. So it is running on Linux Mint, Linux, which is Debian, Linux Ubuntu is Debian, and Linux Fedora, and then Red Hat, and then Red Hat is Fedora distribution, Rocky is Fedora distribution, CentOS was Fedora distribution. Unfortunately, CentOS a few years back was end of life. Red Hat dropped the support for it, and then Rocky Linux is forked out of CentOS because both of the developers that were working on Rocky, one of them, Rocky himself, God bless him, he's no longer with us, but Greg is there, and Greg named it after his friend, his co-founder of CentOS, and they named it Rocky. So Rocky is also Fedora distribution, and it's free for you don't have to buy subscription like Red Hat does. Discuss operating system distribution, account, and resource requirements. So every distribution is important that it is a distribution, whether it is Debian or Fedora or anything else, then you just have to make sure that and the flavor of Red Hat, for example, version 9 or version 8 that you have versus the flavor of Rocky version 9 or 8 you have to make sure that it runs on that platform. Accounts, you need regular accounts as well as a sudo account to do the installation and configuration, because systemd processes have to be running as root or sudo privilege at least. And then resources, and this is memory resources, and then hard disk resources, and CPU resources. Most of the AI models are running on GPU as well. Ollama does not require on your local machine to have a GPU. So memory wise and CPU and disk, hard disk is requirement, but GPU is optional. So GPU is accelerating if you have it. It is there are large language models that I will show you that it is going to help you if you just run them, but you don't have to have it on your local machine in order to run Ollama. Where to download Ollama software, I already pointed out to the URL, which is ollama.com/downloads, and then you just go there, and it's a secure page, and you just get the software. So table of contents continues for this one. Where to download Ollama, we already showed you for the actual download, and this is the library page. Library is when you go to ollama.com, you can click on models. It is also shows you the libraries, or if you type in /library, it's going to just also show all the large language models, Meta AI, that is available for you to just get from the repository. So basically, once you install Ollama, you pull the large language model. The command is Ollama space pull, and then the name of the large language model. It will just download it to your machine. But then if you want to run it, you just say Ollama run, followed by the large language model. And then Ollama run, in addition to just load it onto memory, it also pulls it if it doesn't exist locally. But if it found locally, it runs it right away. Get the required software if not already in your Linux operating system version. So some of the required software might be Perl, Docker, Bourne Shell, Corn Shell, Bash, Born Again Shell, C Shell, True C Shell, ZSH, which is the enhanced version of all these other shells, wget, and etc. And there's going to be like DNF and other packages that when you go yum or RPM, all of that one could be package managers that you have to install and configure your packages. And then of course, account, user add, group add, all of those ones for account management. And install Ollama software on your local Red Hat virtual machine. In this case, I'm using a virtual machine, as you notice here. So you can install it on a standalone server, and then that would be a little bit different, but it is all similar kind of concept. 99% of what I'm working on here is going to work on the standalone server versus a virtual machine similarly, because they're both called server. Enable Ollama services on manually startup. So the systemctl command would allow you to enable it. So systemctl space enable Ollama or disable Ollama or start, stop Ollama. All of that one, status, restart, reload, all of those ones are systemctl commands that you could do with every services. And then you can also do a started on demand manually, which is Ollama serve command. So that is just another option. Table of content continues. What is Ollama? So I'm going to be discussing that Ollama is an open source framework that is free, and then you could just download it for large language model AI kind of metadata. As you can see, this name Ollama is large language model meta AI, but there's no I or anything. So if you forgot that name Ollama, associate Ollama with Obama. Just replace the double L with B. If you remember the former president of the United States, Obama, you will never forget Ollama. That's how easy it is to associate Ollama with a name that you know, and then you will not forget. Because all these terminology that large language models is, sometimes people say, why is it called AI? Why is it called GUI? Why is it called command line? Why is this parameter is passed on? What is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9 or something? All of that one, as a person that you constantly work on it, or developer, or computer science major, or IT person, you are going to remember thousands of these ones. But nobody's going to stay on top of it if you don't work on something for 6 months to a year or something. Memory is sometimes not as fresh as we get older. So in order to do it, remember by names by association. So if I just associate this one, I could remember it, like Python, all right? Associated with Python, Anaconda, or those kind of names. People name it because of some reason. Ruby, Ruby on Rail, PHP, professional homepage, all of that, right? So Ollama, why use Ollama? Ollama is free. That's one of the reasons that you could do. You can run Ollama on your local machine. That's another reason. And then just having those two reasons, it's gonna just, the third reason that I'm going to introduce it to you tonight, and I'm going to predict that thousands of other people are gonna just say the same thing that I say, that, on 2025, when Ollama was introduced, I told the students that Ollama is one of your knowledge base that you can just install it, and it's a library of commerce to you. And you don't have to go to the internet anymore. You can do everything locally. You don't have to go to the library. You don't have to go to YouTube. You don't have to watch thousands of videos and listen, or you don't have to go to school to learn all of this one. You could train yourself everything. That is actually true. You could learn about AI stuff. You can learn about data science, about biology, chemistry, math, calculus, geography, politics, anything you ask question, as long as the data is not current, and then there's scientific formulas and syntax and other ones, you could just get these software and help right away at your fingertips. You don't have to travel anywhere. You don't have to buy books. It's just this software with billions of parameters, and all of that one is just optimized to work for you with these large language models, with neural networks and data science and algorithm and programming and Python and modules and everything, all together integrated for you to help you out. So how to pull Ollama large language model? Basically, once you have the binary, you have Ollama followed by pull and followed by the large language models ID. Same thing when you want to run it, you just say Ollama run and then followed by the large language model ID. These large language model IDs are not available at your command prompt unless you downloaded it already, or you could just say Ollama list and then get a list of what is downloaded. Ollama list -- remote should show some of the large language library from the GitHub repository, but depending on the version of Ollama you have, that code may not work at this time, maybe at later, and they might have the -- library. You can also go to the https ollama.com website /library, like I showed you, or click on the models and you see them under the GitHub. And another way is that when Ollama serve process is running on the graphical user interface, you can click on the Ollama serve and then you see the large language models there too. So many ways you can find it. How to show running Ollama large language model. Before I discuss this one, let me tell you the difference between pull and run. Ollama pull is going to just download the large language model from repository of GitHub to your client machine. So you need internet in order to pull data because you're connected to the internet. But Ollama run just looks at your local machine. If you have it, you don't need internet. It's gonna just run it and load it. But if you just don't have it on your local machine, you need to be connected to the internet because it's gonna connect to ollama.com GitHub repository, and then it's gonna download the large language model from there. So run does a pull if it is not there, and then it loads it. But if it is there, it runs it locally. Pull, no matter what it is, it's gonna just pull it blindly, saying that, okay, you just requested, whether you have it or not, I'm gonna just download the latest and greatest. So pull does an update also on the fly as you pull it. How to show running Ollama list, large language one. Basically, Ollama list command will do that one. Ollama space list. And if you're inside the Ollama chat, you could do /list /show info. It will show you on the information about the large language model, the parameters, the how much in size, and all the details are there. Or /show system will give you system information. /show info will give you the large language model details, and then Ollama /show license give you the license. /show library will give you library. So show is very helpful. To get a list of all these commands, you could say Ollama /help, Ollama /?, Ollama by itself, and it will give you those all the commands listing. So how to check for Ollama process? Ollama space PS. Ollama PS will show you the process, but also if you're on a Linux machine, you could do systemctl space status Ollama. or PS minus EF A grep for Ollama. Grep stands for global regular expression print. It will display that one. At the same time, if you're on a GUI, you could check on the process with task manager and all the icons that are available to you. So how to open Ollama in GUI, graphical user interface. So if you're on a Windows desktop, you could just click on the task manager. There's a list of all the applications that are open. Ollama, if it is loaded already, it will show there. And if it shows there, it says open it, or so you can get the GUI interface and request the chat, or just close it if you don't want to run it anymore. And then Ollama stop also show you how to stop it, and so on. And so Ollama stop will show that one. How to quit it, basically from Ollama you can say /buy is to start do that one. But Ollama stop also will ask you for the large language model ID. So Ollama space stop and then the LLM ID, and then it will stop it. And then quit is just /buy, it will just get out from the, and then quit also you can do it from the daemon, from the GUI, it just has a button of quit to do it. And open, it has an open button. So how to run LLMs, chat, interact, quit, buy, stop, RM, Ollama, command line. These are a few of the commands that you can do on Ollama, but to get all of this one as a help, you just say Ollama space help, and you see that, for example, a stop command is there, start command is there, and then run is there, list is there, show is there, RM is there, and so on. All of this one, RM would delete it. It requires a Ollama ID number, which is the large language model ID number, unique ID. LLMs, as you know, that is large language models. Chatting basically is when you start Ollama, you're chatting with Ollama. And then interaction is that when you ask one question, sometimes you want to ask a follow-up question. So you interact with it. That's part of the chatting, right? Most frequently asked question on Ollama command line. I'm going to be showing you some of the most frequently things that you should know. And then some more useful commands you should know. There are more useful commands on Windows platform and Linux platform. I'm going to show you. I have done this one on previous videos, but people like the useful commands, most frequently commands that you should know. Operating system useful commands. In this case, since we are on Red Hat, I want to make sure that you understand the change directory. On Windows also, CD is also on Windows is alias for change location. And then which command is not on Windows, which command shows you the, like for example, a binary, if it is installed in the path, it will find it. But if it is not in the path, that doesn't mean the binary is not installed. So it might be missing from the path, which means that if you put the path of that binary in the $path environment variable, when you do which, it's going to locate it. It's going to show it. So on the Windows, there's a command called get-command. It's similar to which. So you say, for example, get-command where object, or get-command notepad.exec, get-command calculate.exec, calc.exec, and so on. Man for manual pages, and then PS also shows you process commands. Ollama PS command is a separate command. Then Linux PS command. Linux PS command is there. On PowerShell, you also have an alias called PS, and that PS on PowerShell is get-process is the commandlet, but PS is the alias. And then Linux PS is a command that is coming. grep is a global regular expression print, a combination of Ollama commands. You need these utilities like global regular expression to match some string inside filtration of some kind of input from one argument to the next one. You run the grep. Equivalent to grep on Windows is find command, because it search for a string within that one. Egrep stands for extended global regular expression print. Equivalent to egrep is find str on Windows PowerShell. And then Windows PowerShell and DOS command prompt supports find string, find str. VIM stands for VI improved. This is funny that a long time ago, I think back in 2000 or 99, I was teaching at National University operating system class. I believe it was operating system class or Oracle database class. One of my student here was a DBA. I think it was operating system class. He was taking it for supporting Windows operating system on Oracle for a Boeing company. He was a DBA, but no, maybe it was operating system. Yeah, it was operating system, but then I was discussing all kind of operating system, Unix, Linux, and Windows. So we were talking about VI on a Unix platform, and then when I talk about VI, I said VI stand for. He said, "Wahid, what does VI stand for?" And then I said, stand for visual interpreter. And he says, no, it says visual impossible. So the improved part of the VI is just MVIM. And so it is not visually impossible. If you memorize it, it becomes your friend, like Unix and Linux is user-friendly as well. Once you memorize these commands, it becomes your best friend and then knows you, and then you know the tools that you're using. A stream editorial set is also very powerful, and this is just an addition to ED. ED was the original version of editor for Unix that was at Bell Laboratory by Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie, that was Brian Cornigan, that they were all working at Bell Laboratory. And then when Brian Cornigan did the awk, which is awkward programming, and then GAwk is GNU awk and new awk is there. Set and ED was introduced first before VI was introduced. And then set is a stream editorial that allows you interactively to run the commands and update something. Similarly with awk, you can do programming as well as interactive bash scripting. You can do these tools very nicely. Cat is for concatenation. And PowerShell also has the alias cat, which stands for get-type, get-content, and get-content command let also display windows like the type DOS did. On the Linux, cat command does that one, but cat has on the Linux more parameters and more powerful things that you could do with values. Yes, get-content does it as well. I'm not that much familiar with the get-content arguments, but I'm very familiar with cat, and I have shown you a lot of videos on that one. Whereas is another one to show you where the location of these files, ls the binaries or a file. ls and locate is another one. ls hardware, and this one is just basically list all your hardware. Then you can check it by class of disk, class of CPU, and so on. Systemctl, as I mentioned, it's very important. This is introduced on system D on Red Hat 7 and then Ubuntu 16 and later. All of them are now system D, which is system D is having introduced some of the firewall D and systemctl, journal D. All of these ones were very powerful. It does a lot of things. A lot of people, they hate it, and a lot of people love it. I'm in between. I just do use the codes, and I know that if it is provided there, there's a good reason why it was enhanced from init to system D, and then there's a lot of things you can do. Start services, show cat, and all that thing. ls CPU shows you CPU information. Free give you the memory and swap space information. This proc file system is a pseudo file system, which is memory based. You can do CPU info for checking on the CPU information. And so when you do a cat /proc CPU info, even though the size of this file is 0 byte, it is still read it from memory and it tells you how much, what type of CPU architecture you have, how many of them you have. Similarly, for meminfo, it gives you the memory information. Similarly, for proc partition, it tells you the partition table, and so on. Uptime is giving you the uptime of your system, how efficient your system is. This is important when you're loading programs, and then making sure that your system uptime is not bottlenecking. So these large language models, when you load it, sometimes it's memory hog, sometimes CPU hog, sometimes IO bound. So when your uptime is kind of going up, and then you have some sluggishness, you have to check it. diff-h tell you the hard disk space, whether it's a root partition / home partition or /var / user. All of those ones you can check it, and by minus type you could say if it is FSS, XFS, extended file system, or extended 4 file system, or NFS file system, or any other file system like ZFS. You could mount them and so on. This usage minus sh, this one is going to check on a binary or a data or target zip file, anything, or the directory structure to see, give me a summary and human readable -sh stand for. Uname is going to basically give you information about your system name, and that is cat -n atcos-release give you the same thing in detail. Uname is a short line, one line that says what is the architecture, what is the node name, uname-n for node name, uname-s for system name, uname-r for revision, and so on. ID gives you the ID of your system. ID, your account ID. If you're logged on, ID-1, it gives you your user ID. Groups similarly give you groups of a given user that is logged on. Red Hat Package Manager, Yellow Dog Update Yellow Dog Update Manager, and DNF. DNF is like a superset of YAM. So YAM will be replaced by DNF. DNF currently is pointing to the Python script, which is 62 line, called DNF-3. YAM and DNF are both symbolic linked to DNF-3. And this is all about these utilities that you should know. So let's talk about Ollama on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. So if I just want to install Ollama, an introduction to Ollama, basically I have to just go do the curl installation. And once it's installed, then we just use it. So Ollama is basically a very good software, and then there are some requirements for the installation. In order to install it on any platform, you need at least 8 GB of RAM. 32 GB is recommended for large language models. Sometimes large language model like OSS, GPT-OSS colon 20B for 20 billion parameters requires like 13 gig. So if you just do that one, and then you must have more than 8 gig, otherwise your system will choke, and then you will have issues. So on this one, it runs on the operating system Red Hat 9, CentOS 9, and Fedora distribution, as well as Ubuntu distribution. I'm just going to do it on Red Hat 9. Packages, you need DNF, you need curl, you need wget, tar, Docker, or Podman. Docker and Podman, if you run it as a container, it is required. But if you're not running it as a container, which I'm not, then it is not required. So you need a sudo privilege to just do this work. And that is another important thing. So when you just do it, important thing that you have to do it. Ollama installation, after you run it, you could also run it inside the Docker, which I say optional. If you want to do that one, Ollama run inside, let's get the Docker software installed, or Podman. In this case, I'm not installing them because I'm running it a server. But if you do this one, I document everything for you here. Do a DNF install -y for yes, and DNF-plugin core first. Then do DNF config manager -add repo. So this DNF repo list should show this Docker CE as your repo list before you do Docker -ce Docker command line and container IDE for install. And then after you did that one, start enabling Docker. And the command to enable it, you say systemctl start Docker. If it starts, that means it was successful. If it doesn't start, then you don't need to enable it. So this command is going to run, and if this is true, meaning that $? Is equal 0, succeeded, then it's going to run this command. Otherwise, it's not going to run this command to enable it. There's no service. So tip, if you prefer Podman, just swap Docker with Podmans. So Docker and Podman are very similar commands. A lot of the commands like Docker version, dash version, Docker PS, and so on, all of them are the same thing. You just change Docker to swap it with Podman, it works. And you might just say, why do you write these kind of thin software? Why they stop at Podman, did not call it another Podwoman or something? These kind of things is honesty, is just people wants to do some similar software, and for whatever reason they think their version is better, or they just run their business and how to make money. So it's their question, not mine. You have to ask them to say why they did that. Sudo group sudo user mode -ag Docker. So this is a group add for the whatever user you are. This UMI is going to just get your ID-UN, and also give you the same thing. And then it's going to just say, okay, add it for the user with Docker options, and then the group to the group Docker. Added. This -a means added. And you have to have sudo privilege or become root there. Installing Ollama. How do you install Ollama? So you basically go to this website called, actually on this case, open a terminal command line. And then since it's a Linux, you don't have to go to Windows to download the package, or Mac to download the package. So since a Linux, you just log into your Red Hat or Fedora or Rocky or whatever version, Ubuntu, whatever version that you want to install, curl command should be installed on there. If you do wedge curl, it should show user local bin curl. And then you just give this argument, and the ollama.com URL with install.sh Bourne shell script. This is a large script. So it will run this one and then pipe it to Bourne shell. This sh is going to be on your local machine. It's going to just open this one, install it on your machine, and then it will be installed on the user local bin directory with Ollama as the name, and then it also enable the systemctl with for Ollama services. And then once you did that one, after the installation, you verify it. So you say which Ollama, it will say user local bin Ollama. And you say Ollama -- version, it will display the current version at the time that you install. This could be changing because every time you do it, you might be doing in 2025 or 2026. At some point, you're going to do that one, and whatever version is available, it will show that one. Pulling your first model, how do you do that one? Well, basically, to pull your first model, you just say, yeah, so right here, pulling your first model, I'm going to bring again this one. So you open a terminal, this is the installation, and then right here, pulling the hub. So you can get the library from the hub, which is ollama.com/library or ollama.com, click on the model, and then get a list of them. And then once you know the name, which one you want, like Ollama pull tiny llama, this will download the tiny llama. As the name stands, tiny llama, it will be downloaded on your local machine. And then in order to list them, you just say Ollama space list. And then it says, okay, you have the tiny llama, which is like less than 1 gig, and then it will show that one. And then Ollama pull, the model name could be any model name, which is tiny llama, could be llama 3.2, could be DeepSeek -R1, or could be any one of them, Gamma 3, and so on. Running the Ollama server. So to run the Ollama server, you just run Ollama space serve, and if there's no instance of Ollama server is already running, it will just start it. If it is there, it will say the loopback interface port 11434 is already being in use, so you have to just do a curl on that one and it will work. If it is not running, then Ollama serve will start it off. Running as system services. If you're running it as a system service, you can enable the Ollama with this now Ollama enable command. This one basically started systemctl enable now Ollama. This will enable it. So if your system gets rebooted, Ollama services will be up and running after the reboot. If you don't want it to enable it, you could just say disable Ollama, and then the service will not be enabled. Then you can start it manually by running Ollama serve. And then checking the status of it, you could also do systemctl status Ollama. And if you say, well, it is running, I want to stop it, you just say Ollama systemctl stop Ollama. If you want to restart it, systemctl restart Ollama. And if you want to stop it, then start it again, systemctl start Ollama. Check the status, systemctl start status Ollama. How easy is that, right? And then that's why I was saying that some people hate systemctl, but it's not that bad. And then if you want to just do sudo systemctl after Ollama serve comes in, you could do a curl on this HTTP localhost 11434 port, or you could just go open up a browser and it opens that one and says Ollama is running. Because this REST API, the RESTful API is application program interface. Basically, there's some kind of JSON between the client and server that are passed within the API that you could also check it. I could show you on the Windows and maybe on the Linux side, all of that one as well for this REST API as well. So it's very good. And then the next one is command line, basic chats. Ollama run tiny llama. So you could also do one line command on your operating system, like Ollama run followed by the large language model and followed by your question. Hello, Ollama, how are you? And then, or what is the value of pi? Or what is the age of universe? This question is one line question. Ollama will just give you an output right away, say, I'm a virtual assistant ready to help. How can I assist you today? So that is basically when you just say greeting or something there. And then also using the API that I mentioned, this is a RESTful API, which is the connection list between the client and the server. There's the state of like each request is not preserved on the server side. So each request has to have its own kind of JSON format data that is passed on to the post to the URL of the server. So in this case, your server that you're running Ollama serve is the loopback interface, which is 127.0.0.1, or the DNS name of localhost. Each machine, this localhost is unique to that machine. So if you're on your machine, your local host is to you. The loopback interface for me is my local host to myself. So don't just think of this one as DNS names that is to the public. This is not, this is loopback interface 127.0.0.1. And that's the network that is locally to your machine. So when you do the post on this one, API/chat, here I have the slashes, but if you do, run this one, it might not work. So just take the slashes out and just do -h for the content type application/JSON. So it's a JSON application. And then right here, the data port that it comes in says, okay, this brace, it says that I'm running between this brace and this brace is saying that, okay, this is a data dictionary kind of format in JSON that it says interpreted in Python as data dictionary and interpreted and JSON similar. So model has a key value pair. So models, the key value is tiny llama, which is the large language model, the model that there is. And then you have the message as a key, and the value is in this case an array. The array is started with this bracket, and inside the bracket is a dictionary again. So the dictionary has key value pair. Key is row, value is user. Key is content, value is tell me a short joke. So you could replace tell me a short joke to say, give me the age of the universe, or give me the age of Earth, or give me the value of pi. All of those questions are just more queries that you can submit to this API, and then you get the result there. And then in this case, tell me a short joke. It says the JSON come out, Ollama come out with this JSON saying the message, why did the robot go to therapy? Because it had too many bytes of unresolved issue. That's funny. Whether it's funny or not, you have to just laugh at some point, right? Okay, so I think it's fun. And then GPU acceleration. GPU is that every time you install GPU, I mean, if you have your GPU, it accelerates that kind of performance for your system. And with Ollama, you don't, it's not required on your local machine, but if you have it, it's much faster for your task that you're requesting. So install NVIDIA driver is required, NVIDIA driver -Docker 2, if you're running Docker. And then when you pull the image or the large language model, you have to pull the GPU optimized model, which is nano-llama :GPU. This :GPU is telling it this is optimized for GPU models. So that's how you know. And then model management, Ollama list is when you want to manage them on your local machine, you do Ollama list followed by the large language model, or Ollama list list all of them that are there. And then Ollama RM to remove a model. Once you remove it, it's locally gone, but then it's on the Ollama repository on the server. You can pull it at any time, or you could run it at any time. Ollama export model, and then path. This is for backup of a large language model that if you want to export it to the repository, you could also push it to the repository similar to what you pull. You could do push. And security is important on any operating system, any platform that you run, whether it's the Red Hat or Windows, you need to know the firewall stuff, and you need to make sure your system accounts and groups or permissions are accurate. The file systems are intact, and the integrity of packages and files are not compromised, and then the data at rest is safe, data in transition is safe, data in transition, what is happening between the client and the server on the web through HTTPS, and all of that one is safe, SSL going, encryption and everything. So security is very important. And then Ollama processes that you get from the packages, make sure those packages are just a party that you trust them. You just don't download everything that was tested yesterday, and then it was maybe people are just going to be compromised. So you just can't trust everything that security part of it. Just be careful. Run Ollama inside a user namespace. When you run it with namespace of user, that's much safer than running it as root. Or if you run it as a container, then that container is only going to be affected. So it is important. Use firewall rules to expose only the API port you need. So when you allow some API, like maybe allowing the local loopback interface, which is local, that's much safer than just opening HTTPS port 433 and then allowing it through the web, or listening to a socket that maybe is not safe. It's vulnerable to some other issues, and so vulnerabilities. Make sure you do that. To wrap up this PDF documentation that I'm going to put a quick tour of Ollama on Red Hat Linux. If you so basically, I say that's a quick tour of Ollama on Red Hat Linux. If you want to keep these commands handy, download my PDF version, which is going to be in the list of the description of this video with all the guidance that I mentioned here. It will be listed here. So to download the PDF, I'm here giving you another note. Say, if you find this video helpful, please smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a tutorial from youtube.com at MyWebUniversity. That's my YouTube channel. I'm predicting that if you download this free open source Ollama LLM AI locally in your computer, the benefit to your education, this is very, very important. The benefit to your education and building a long-term career gets more obvious as you practice towards your goals on a daily basis. And the opportunity to your endless and to you are endless and priceless, because it's priceless because it's worth so much to you. Every day you will find out so many things that you couldn't do it, now you can do. That is never ending success, inshallah, God willing. Drop your question in the comment. I will be answering them in the next video. Happy learning and best of luck and everything in your life. So I'm wishing you best of luck. If you just find this video successful, and make sure you share it with other people. And by sharing, you care about them, and we have better society, better community in our life. At the same time, if you look at these videos, I'm showing you Ollama today, but maybe 6 months from now, you say, wow, now I'm a different person. I am very, very much knowledgeable. You might be a genius. You might be very, very kind of smart person that you were not there 6 months ago, even though you were smart, but now you're way smarter and you're way more performing better and better, whether it's at work, at the school, or anything. So because this knowledge of meta AI that are billions of parameters is at your fingertips. You don't have to go to libraries. You don't have to go to school to just learn every day, drive there, spend time. You're just sitting at your local machine. You just type in a command. You get what is that value, what is atom, what is neutron, what is proton, what is calculus, what is biology, what is geography, what is science, all of that. Each question and every one of them is space, heard, anything, politics, economy, anything, English, learning English vocabularies, everything. So it's very, very easy to get educated with a software that you have it at your fingertips. You don't have to travel. So the PDF attached in the video description contains the same information. Please feel free to open the download the PDF. Highlight the section that you want and share with your teams. The teams, loved ones, friends, and brothers, sisters, and then neighbors, anybody, classmate, friends. Now, so I'm going to just go to the next part, which is thanking you for watching this video, but I'm not done with the actual demonstration. So I'm going to now show you on Red Hat what we have here. So this is my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, share the videos with them, and then share the knowledge. So now I'm going to come back here, and then I'm going to be on Red Hat machine. Notice that on this Red Hat machine, I already logged in. So if you just don't have a Red Hat, watch my other VMs and that I built a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. This is Red Hat Linux 9 that I have already started it, and you can see here is the preview, and then it says running, and then if you click on show, it will just open it. And then this is Rocky 9, Enterprise Linux 9, this is Solaris 11.4, this is Red Hat 8.9 VM, and this is Ubuntu. Notice how many of them I have configured at the VirtualBox as a result of just running Windows operating system as a host operating system. And then if I just go here and say about my PC, you can see here, and this is my system with about the name is algorithm. It is Mini IT 11 generation. It has 32 gig of memory. 32 gig of memory. Let me just go here. It is just on the screen. Let me just open it again. So about your PC, you can see here 32 gigabyte of memory. And then the name is algorithm. The processor is 11 generation, 32 gig of RAM and all the detail, and then it tells you that it's a Windows System 11, 24, this. All of that detail, you can also get it from command line. So if you open a command prompt of PowerShell here, let's say I'm here, I'm gonna do this CD clear screen, and then I say system info, and then if I just don't do anything with the find the string that I showed you do a more here, this is giving me all the system information that earlier the about page was giving. But this one is a lot of information. You might just say, oh, okay, I'm only interested find a string /I for memory. It's gonna just tell me how much memory I have, which is 32 gig and running 16 gig of available altogether. So this 16 gig is important that if I'm running the operating system here and I say Ollama on Windows list, then it's gonna say, oh yeah, I have this Ollama list here, and this is the process. So if I say Ollama PS, and then you can see that there's no process. But if I come here on this one and then say, okay, Ollama, this GUI daemon that is available here, I have an option. If I right click, it says Ollama, open Ollama or quit it. But if I say open it, then it is, and this chat is going to open, and then I can ask question and everything. If I minimize this one, I could also say, okay, Ollama is there. Can I do a curl on that port to see it? Yeah, it's Ollama running. And then if I just say, okay, do this one on this port, like as if I'm on a browser, not this that start dash process on commandlet, which is the short alias is start. And then you could say, open this URL, and it's going to open on the browser, says Ollama is running. So many ways you can detect these stuff, and then you know that this is running there. So if I just show you the other code, since that Ollama is running, I could say, okay, go to demo programs, and then let me see, CD to Ollama maybe. Yeah, Ollama directory. And I have this program. Remember I said cat is alias cat is stand for get dash, I mean, is alias to get dash content. Get dash content is the actual command. So if I say get dash command, get dash content, then it's going to say that's a binary that is installed in this location. This is a get dash command is like where a which command, similar to which command on Linux. So now I did that one, and then if I just do cat c.ps1, that is a PowerShell command that is doing a post on this one. But notice that post that earlier I was showing you, curl -x post and localhost API chat, and then -h and content type application JSON model is tiny model, and then the question here is asking, tell me a short joke. So I'm going to run that one. To run that one, and say c.ps1. And now it's going to have to run it on, and it's going to tell you some stuff there with the model. It's actually doing the API call, so, and that is what it says done, all of them. And let me show you everything now on Linux platform. Actually, I was showing you the memory, right? And I'm going to show you the memory for, so this one, CD / and then say clear screen system info, find the string /I, and then I showed you the memory, which we have about 16 gig available right now, but 32 gig. So the virtual memory is also important. We're running a little bit, I'm running a little bit late to do the demo. So let me just do the architecture here, say model. And now you see that the model of this machine is basically Intel 64. At the same time, if I just go right here and then on the Windows PC, and you click on it, so you see that I have this system on the property. I can see that I have about 85 gig available, out of the 952 gig, everything else is used. So, and this is the hard disk space. I have memory, hard disk, and everything. So if you comment on the host operating system, click here and go to the task manager, and then click on the performance, and you can see the CPU is about 15 gig or 16 gig available. Everything else is used, and CPU is doing good. Is okay. Hard disk is also IO okay. Network is good. So I'm going to just go to the Linux now. And before I go to the Linux, I'm going to close these other ones. Watch on the algorithm. I'm going to go under setting and then show you the system how I program. I built this virtual machine. When I installed it, I configured it with 16 gigabyte of memory. As you can see here, 384 is at 16 gig. So, and then processor also I have out of the 8 processor that I have, 4 of them is allocated. So if I go here, say device manager on the Windows host operating system, you can see on the processors, you can see all your devices, including the processor. So if I double click on the processor, you see I have 11 generation Intel Core i7 with 3.4 gigahertz speed. So out of the 8 on Linux, I allocated 4 of them here. So that's how you know that Ollama is going to run efficiently here. So when I go here, now I say show, this is going to come, and then I press that is the screen saver. So I type in my password. Once you have the password, then you can see here, Ollama, this process is there. It's like a window. Since I installed it previously, let me see if I can resize this one. And this is the Ollama serve command that it is running, and then the C is telling you that the C.sh is one of the script that I run it, and here the query is submitted and all of that one. It's a little bit small for this window, so I'm going to just leave this one on the side. I will close it afterward to show you that I'm going to just undo everything that Ollama. First, before I undo it, I'm going to show you that I did install it already. It's already working, but I want to just undo it because I want to redo the installation for you so you understand what to do. So I'm going to just click on this activity, open a terminal. And opening a terminal on this one, let me just click here. This is the button for terminal. So I open a terminal, and this terminal comes in. And then I could just say new window and just get this window. And then notice the size is small, so I could do Control-Shift+ and make this one bigger. That would be the size of it. And then right here, I think it is good enough for that size. So let me just say the commands that I want to say. Here, remember I was talking about the account ID-UN is going to tell me who am I, will also tell you that I'm there. ID-A will give me all the parameters that is there. So the user ID is Wahid, the group ID is Wahid, the user ID and number is 1000, the group ID number is 1000, and other groups that I belong, like Ollama is that group and everything. So Ollama binary requires kind of group. Let me just make this one a little bit wider, and I'm going to put it right there. I think that's too wide. Let me do this. Okay, and then so I'm going to resize it because it's small to read, and then that's good enough. So again, right there is good. The sizing, I didn't like it in the first place, so I'm going to stop there. So what is this account? If I just say, okay, first of all, I want to say, what is the operating system? etc os-release. It tells me that it is Red Hat 9.2 Fedora distribution, but it's Red Hat 9.2, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9, right? So, and then it tells you the Red Hat access.redhat.com, which is where you download the software, where you get all the details from accessing it, and then also Zilla for reporting bugs, and then also other details there, Fedora distribution. So another one-line note is cat -n Red Hat dash release. This also says that you have Red Hat 9.2. So, and then also you could say uname -a for all of that information. Uname -r gives you revision. Uname -s for system. Uname kernel name. Kernel name kernel name also gave you the system. Uname -o for the operating system version, and then uname -s for system, -m for machine type, -v for platform. And if you need all of those ones, you just say uname -help, two dash, and then help, and it will tell you all the parameters that I just showed you, most of it. So here I'm going to just show you that it's running Red Hat, but I have to check which Ollama. Say as the Ollama installed, and you can see that it's installed under user local bin Ollama. So I'm going to also do systemctl status Ollama. And notice that this Ollama is enabled, but it's not running right now. So then I say ps -ef a grep -I Ollama and grep -v grep. So my grep command doesn't run. The Ollama serve is running right here. Ollama serve is this one that we just showed you here on this screen here, right? And so this one is there. And if I just say curl http colon / and then localhost colon 11.434, then it's going to just make a query right there. You could see that this query was updated from Ollama serve. The daemon responded on port 434. Let me see if I can resize it more and move this one a little bit up here. So every time you make a request, that gets refreshed. Notice here, it gets refreshed. And whether you do it with a local host or port 127.0.0.1 is the same thing. 2 zeros and then .1. You could see that this gets refreshed here. Ollama is running. So if I say Ollama PS, it's not showing any process, but if I say Ollama list, it's going to say that it's not anything listed here, right? But Ollama serve a process is there. So if I say, find out that Ollama process, what it is, a systemctl, if I do a sudo systemctl status, and then I say Ollama, it says that give me the password. I type in the password. And at this time, if I just say, okay, the password is that, it did not show. I'm going to do the same thing with ps -efa, grep -I Ollama, and grep -v grep. Now I see this Ollama serve process with this process ID, right? So I could say, show me sudo ps3 of 34.499, and then you can see it's the Ollama, which it invoked this process ID 8. So if I just say give me the 8, what is that one, then I could say that is a k worker, kernel worker, right? So a lot of these details are kind of not obvious unless you search for them. So if I just say give me the PWDX of that process working directory of executable, and then this is where that Ollama started, home Wahid there. So Ollama serve is not running with binary of this. So when I installed it, originally I did it as this ID. And if I just say, okay, that is great. If I go sudo dash, and then I say which Ollama, it is saying that one now say Ollama list is going to say nothing there. So the binary is still available for root. I can check it, but the process, I have to start the services if I want to do this. And then at the same time, if I want to run it for a tiny model, I could exit out of here and say start Ollama, and let's say run, and then tiny Ollama. Tiny llama. Tiny llama is the large language model. Now it opens it and then it says, okay, it is ready for me to do the poll. It is actually downloading it. So if I do Ollama list after this one, because it is pulling the repository tiny model, and that is about some small meg. Let's see if it's a gig or something. It's about some percentage is done, 79%. That's good. It's going to do it quickly. Then we don't have to wait too long for it. And then once that one is 95% right now, or 93%, and then it's 12 seconds left, or maybe it's 1.3 megabyte per second. So it depends on your network also, how fast it's going to just interact, because I'm doing a lot of stuff here and my network is still on wireless here. So and the upstairs computer is connected to the Ethernet, but one that I'm connecting to this one is on the Wi-Fi. So it's still good for this one. Now, Tiny Model is going to get downloaded here. And once this one is done, what am I going to do? Okay, I say, and this model is loaded. Now I could ask question. I say, in short, what is the value of 5? 5. And then once you ask that kind of question, it tells you one line and 3.14159 and all of that one answer is there. But I say it in short, now it's writing a lot than just those kind of things. So you could ask all of these questions. So I'm going to say Control C. I don't want to say this one, say clear. And now I did this one and I say show info. Now I see that the Llama process is 1.1 gig. And if I say list, then I could see that this one is loaded and it is 53 seconds. So if I say slash show like license information, license, then no license was specified. Okay, so show license, maybe there's no license, but let's see a template, show template. Yeah, so some of the details are not yet there for but some of it is there. So show info will give you all the parameter for this one. And then with just slash show, it says these commands are available for you. And slash question mark will tell you that commands that you can do at command line slash set slash show slash load to load a model slash save to save it, and then clear it to clear the chat. If you say tell me a quick joke. So any joke, you don't have to give it like a robot kind of things. Let's see what it says. Here's a quick joke for you. A man walked into a bar with a joke book in his hand. The bartender looks surprised and asked him, "What's so funny?" To which the man replied, "My joke book." Not right. That's not funny. I am more funny than that, but that's okay. We will take it. So I'm going to just ask a different question. It's like, what is in short? What is calculus? everything that you ask it is right away. It just tells you the details of it. Then you could say what is integral, what is derivative, what is limit, what is this. All of those ones that will be much so. Like I was asking what is atom, what is neutron, what is proton. It tells you so it's easily how the age of the universes were calculated, what is isotope and all of that detail. So I'm going to Control C here and say, okay, I'm done with this one. I'm going to say bye and say Ollama list. Now it shows that I have that model there. Ollama PS is also, Ollama PS, it's also showing me that that process is up and running on it. I did not stop it. So I'm going to stop it first, say Ollama, Ollama, stop, and then tiny llama, tiny llama. And now I stopped it. If I do a PS, it's not running anymore. And then now I can do RM on it. So I could say, and instead of this one, you could see here it's listed. If I just say RM and then tiny llama, now tiny llama. You have to type in exactly the name of this there. Now it says deleted. So now list is not going to show anymore and nothing there, right? So now I have no model there. That means I can get rid of it. But before I get rid of this one, I thought I explained to free space on the disk. Remember I said that I have 16 gig. So that 16 gig allocated for this machine, if you run the free-human readable, it says 15 gig, but actually you have very close to 16 gig. And then you can see here it's 15.739. But this is when the processor loaded. Actual how much is allocated is you can get it from clear screen cat -n proc mem info, and then you can just say pipe more. And then you can see total memory is 16 gig here. Free memory is about 12 gig. So all of that details are there. And notice that I say this file is on the proc file system. So if I say ls-ld mem info from the proc file system, mem info, you can see that it is a 0-byte file. But because the pseudo file system, which is reading the content from memory that is loaded, it is just having that thing. Similarly for CPU info, it is 0-byte file, but if you just say right there, when you do this one, like this, and then you can say cat bang $sign as the argument, and then pipe it to more, and then you can see that there's the type genuine Intel 3.4 gigahertz and 11 generation i7 processor, and then you have 4 of them, right? So how do you know it's 4 of them? That's CPU, and then when you do the 0 through 3 is the same thing as 4 of them. Also, you can see here is 0 through 3 and 4 CPUs there. It's marked there. 4 CPUs with 0, 3, 0 the first processor and 3 is the last one. And then the architecture is genuine Intel i7 with 3.4 gigahertz in speed. So that is there. df-h is giving you the disk information, so you can see I have enough on the hard disk to download these models, and then 56 gig is pretty good for me for this VM. And then I'm going to just now wipe out everything so I can install it again fresh. So let me close this one. We already did the curl stuff, and Ollama was running. We already did this. Say go ahead, close that one. So now I'm going to say first find out what processes are there. All right. So in order to know it, so you do, I'm going to become root first, sudo sudo su dash. This will switch user and become root with root as a profile running. And then I type in this one. We clear screen, and then right here, I'm going to say, go to home Wahid, and then CD to Ollama. And then now I'm going to just look at this content. So in order for me to say which Ollama, for example, it is that there, system CTL status of Ollama. And then these are, you can see under etc left system, these system Ollama services are there. So if I say, instead of this, I could say show command, then I could see all the Ollama parameters and the directives that are there, right? At the same time, if I want to see the services, I could say cat command on the systemctl cat Ollama, then you could see that it's there. And then the directory that I was just showing you with the status, this one, when you do a status, you see that etc system D, there's Ollama.services there. So if I just say systemctl stop Ollama, is going to say it's not running, right? System CTL stop Ollama. Sorry, system CTL stop Ollama, and then that stopped it. But now if I just check the status of it, it still says that it's enabled for the service. I'm going to disable it there. So instead of this, I could say, before I disable it, I'm going to show you under etc system D system, there's all dot services. You can see everything that this service is configured here, including Ollama. So if I say cat minus n Ollama.service, this is what Ollama.service was there. Similarly to saying that this is the command, right? Okay. And then I could also say systemctl cat or Ollama. That will just say the same thing, but cat minus n is just giving you line numbers, yet that one is doing the same file, right? So on this one, star Ollama, you can see that there's only one service. So whenever you start, because we enabled this one. Once you enable it, this file gets created. In order for me to wipe out everything, I wrote this direct file called remove Ollama, and then I call it remove something, remove Ollama. So if I just do a more on remove, you can see on each line, for example, remove the Ollama, I have to just remove this Ollama service first. And then systemctl daemon reload to make sure that it's there. Then I have to do RM on the user local bin Ollama to make sure the Ollama binary is there, gone. And then also remove the user del from the Ollama group and accounts, right? Group user del and group del for Ollama. So, and then at the same time, on my local directory of the tilde, which is Wahid, I have to remove this hidden Ollama directory, which also I need to do the man pages, share, user share Ollama, remove that one as well. So there's a number of things in order for you to uninstall Ollama. But on this video, I'm going to cover that one also for you. So if you have to do that one on another machine, this is how you do it. So let's get that one done. And then if I just do this one and say add -5, let's look at the first 5 lines and says, first I need to do sudo, which I am already. I'm going to do systemctl stop Ollama, which I already did earlier. So that has stopped it. Now I'm going to say disable Ollama. Instead of enable, -- now enable, which I showed you in the documentation, now it removed that file that I was telling you earlier about system services. Now, if I say start it, it's not going to find this one. Ollama doesn't exist. But it's still, which Ollama is, the binary is there, right? Which Ollama, it is user local bin, right? So now if I say that more, command here, and instead of 5 lines, let's look at 10 lines. So after I did the remove, now the system daemon reload, I have to do that one. System ctl daemon and dash reload. This will reload it. I'm sorry, I mistyped it. System ctl and daemon and with AEM. Okay, daemon dash reload, and now typed it correctly, it reloads it. So you could do that daemon reload every time you do the firewall or anything with configuration of system. The kind of configuration that you remove the service or you added the service, this one will just reload it again, daemon reload. So now that more, instead of 5 line, I'm going to do 15 lines. So now the next one is to say which Ollama, and you can see that is there. So I'm going to remove that one and say that file user local then Ollama, you can see is the executable link format 32. Executable link format 64-bit, I say 32, 64-bit format x86 platform. So I'm going to just say, instead of file, I'm going to say ls-ld. And then if I say that is the file, I'm going to delete it by doing rm here. And that will be just prompting me, says a regular file, do you want to delete it? I say yes. Now ls-ld doesn't exist, and then I say which Ollama is not going to return. So the more command with 15, I'm going to just make it 20 lines. And now we have 20 lines. So this time I'm going to say I did this one, sudo rm, and then Ollama, then the path to Ollama binary was verified was uninstalled manually to a different location. You can do that one. So remove the Ollama user add in group. So I need a little bit more of that one. But instead of head 20, I'm going to just try tail 20. Tail 20, the last 20 lines. So remember, this line is already done. I'm going to do the group. But before I do the group, we say grep -i Ollama, Ollama from etc password, etc group, and etc shadow to see what are the entries there. Notice that on the shadow there is a thing, and then it says exclamation. Exclamation means that there's no password for it, which is not safe and not secure. So that is another consideration, that when you do this one, we normally say no login, so people could not log into it with empty password. That's a safety way to just say the default path is there. But then on the password file, you can see it has been false, so it's not allowing login. That's good. And then user share is Ollama, also the home directory of it, that's there. So I'm gonna just say, okay, I'm gonna delete that one. User del Ollama, that will delete it. Group Ollama group or remove because it is other members, right? User del and group Ollama not removed because it is it has other members. So the group is not removed, and then user del is there. So what I'm going to do is group del first, group del, and then Ollama, to see if it now group del is removed. So remove a user del is going to say this doesn't exist anymore. Now if I just do this command, is going to just not return any value because everything is wiped out. So now remove any remaining Ollama file system. It is not there, but I'm going to go to user share directory, cd to share, and then ls-l star Ollama to see if anything is there. That is there, so I'm going to say rm-rf Ollama, that is gone. And then at the same time, home Wahid dot Ollama is the directory where that one was there. So all the models that I get it here is the getting installed models. Here, as you can see, blob and manifest files and pubs and IDs and everything. So I'm going to just say right here, I'm saying rm-rf.ollama. I could have done it with my regular user. Now the .ollama doesn't exist here anymore. See, it's nothing here on .ollama. Nothing, right? If I just typed it correctly, it's still not working. So that's not there. So now I have done everything. I'm going to come back as my regular user. Now it's time for me to install it. Remember the installation, it was saying that something that go to a browser. So if I just click here and then just click on the browser and then go to Firefox in this case. And for the URL, you type in HTTPS. Let me clean this thing and then just say HTTPS and then the 2 slashes and then say ollama.com. So when you go to ollama.com, if you click on the download page, the download page is still has these entries. So I will need the Linux version, right? So for the Linux, you see the curl-fsl argument here. So that is the path. I could memorize this one, or I could just cut and paste it from here. This is, since I'm opening the browser, I could say copy here, and I go back to the terminal here, and then just say, okay, go ahead, paste it here with that curl command. Notice the curl-fsl and then HTTPS Ollama. So it is this binary Bourne shell is going to be run, and then pipe it to Bourne shell here again, and it's gonna install it. So now it's gonna say give the sudo privilege for Wahid. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I have the sudo privilege. Now it is downloading Ollama. So this is how you download it for the first time. If you just run it on any Linux system. I did not check the curl because I already had installed curl. If you don't have curl, you just have to run curl, DNF install curl, which I'm going to open a terminal here. And then this terminal, I'm going to also make it big. You can see here. So if I say which curl on this system, it's already installed. And then if I say curl dash version, it tells me the version of curl that I'm running. So if I say curl HTTP s and then colon google.com, curl works. So the fact that I just did the curl on this screen is because curl is already installed on your machine. If you don't have curl, when you say which curl, it is not found on the user bin. You have to become root. You say sudo, and then say DNF install curl. That will install it for me. Since install, it says requirement is already met. And that's how it is going to be done. And then that's how you can see a requirement is already, dependency is already resolved. So curl is already there. And then if I say, okay, if it is there, I should have curl here. Yes, I do have it. And then it works here, and it's done. So notice that this part, curl went to the website, it downloaded and installed it. And now everything is up to the date. Everything is right here at my fingertips to just start Ollama. And notice the systemctl stuff is added. And then as well, the binaries installed, the Ollama services is added, everything. So if I say systemctl status Ollama, it is already up and running. And because it is enabled it and it's there. So now if I say clear screen, which Ollama, it tells you Ollama dash version, and it tells you that the version is 0.1110. So Ollama list, there's no model that is there. Now Ollama If I just do a pull, I have to run it after. But if I say run, automatically goes to tiny llama. It already gets it, and then at the same time it pulls it and then loads it into memory, and it is going to use it there. And so sometimes when you do the large language models, you just have to do this combination of stuff. So while this one is done, I'm showing you on this other window, clear screen here, say Ollama. If you just type in no argument to it, it gives you a frequently asked question, kind of commands that, oh, do you want to pass some flags or some commands? And the available commands are like serve to start the service, as a daemon, and then create, and then show and run, stop, pull, push, list, ps, and copy, and remove, and help. And then the dash h, or for short, or dash help, or slash question mark, all of this. The dash v for version information. A lot of these commands, you're doing it with a slash inside the large language model, and with outside, you could just do Ollama push to push a large language model, Ollama pull to pull a large language, Ollama stop to stop it, Ollama RM to remove it, or Ollama PS to check the process, Ollama serve to start the Ollama daemon. So a lot of them is very easy, right? Ollama run right now, I'm doing this one, and this is already run, and it's asking me this. So if I say, in short, what is the age of universe? And then you could just say it says 13 point some billion years, and then it is approximately, right? And then how do you determine that one? They say that, oh, it's checking the oldest stone or something with isotope, and then making sure that it is calculating it that way. That's how they determine it. So a lot of knowledge that we don't know, that and certain things you could just keep asking question and help you. You become much smarter, much more intuitive. Not that we are not smart, you're all smart, but it makes you much more efficient at what you do in life, and more up to date. So right now, I say it in short, and it's just giving me so much of information. But maybe when I could ask the same question a different way, say in short, and then put a comma and say, what is the age of universe? Let's see if now, sometimes even if you make a mistype a word or something, then it says you meant this one, then it's gonna just go to the large language model, pull out some of those parameters, the Big Bang Theory, and this everything that it comes to the robots and mindset, it's just gonna talk about it. See, that is still doing that one. And then this is the tiny large language model. So some of them are not as efficient of a large language model to just understand the question you do. So, but if you just do another one, like here, I have this other window, I could say clear screen, and I'm sorry, clear screen, and then say Ollama, and then let's pull something called Llama 3.2 or something. So this is like the meta large language model AI, and that is metadata, meta AI. I say metadata because data about data. In database and big data and data sets, everything is kind of like metadata, data about data. But in Llama is meta AI. About artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science. So computer science is really huge. It covers programming and graphics, animation, compilers, operating system, databases, all sorts of programming, statistical software, numerical analysis, like AutoCAD stuff, graphics and animations and sounds and everything, AI stuff, data science stuff, then gaming, everything. So AI is just one branch of computer science. And then you are just seeing this one is downloading Llama 3.2 right now. Once this one is done, that language will be available. If we ask the same question from that one, then you can compare it there. So here, this other one that is already loaded, I could say, okay, if I want to get a list of the large language models here, I could also go under models here. Notice the models here, that is a list of them, and PT-OSS. This is about 13 gigabyte. DeepSeek-R1, Gamma. So there's a lot here, and you can also search for it. That's where you just click here and type in like DeepSeek, and then right away, everything that matches with DeepSeek is going to be listed here. Similarly for Gamma, for Google stuff. If I search for Gamma, then you can see that Gamma and other ones are there. And for GPT, GPT-OSS and other ones are there. So a lot of them are very intuitive, and then you can get the models from just clicking on models or going here /library. Library, and that will also give you the models. But at the same time, if you're looking from the command lines, once you have it downloaded, remember the command lines here. If you have downloaded, like right here, I said on this one, just go by here and say now, say Ollama list. See, now I have 2 of them. And then the size of them, it shows 2 gig and 0 gig and 637, the largest. The other one is also done. So I could do the same thing, but instead of a poll, I could say run it. So if I want to get this one, it's just say run instead of poll. Now it's loaded locally, it's going to load it onto memory. Now it's available for me. So the poll is going to just download it from the repository to your local machine. The run, if it is not there, it pulls it, and then at the same time, it runs it for you, loads it. So once it loads it, it'll show you on memory that chat is available. So and if I say the same question from this one is short, what is the age of universe? So let's see if it is just going to give me a lot of information or just one line short answer. So this is the large language model on Red Hat platform, and the age of the universe, it tells you it's a little bit slow in terms of response, but it does give me a short answer and one line, and it just goes there. And if I just do the same thing in short, what is the age of Earth? Age of Earth, then you can see that it's very helpful, 4.5 or some billion years. So that one is approximate. But notice that how efficient and this is, 4.54 billion years. And then you say, that's great. And now I'm memorizing these things. What is the distance between Earth and the moon, right? So these kind of questions people ask, students ask you a question, children ask you, nobody memorizes it all the time because we never just have to know that in order to do our jobs. But you can just come in front of this one. If you want to memorize it, you're welcome to memorize it. How often do you use it? That's up to you. And you can see here, 84 kilometers. And then the same thing with the sun, with the Mars, and everything else, you could ask question there. And then if I just say /clear, and then I'm going to ask another question about, let's say, this time I'm going to say, write me bash script to add, to say hello 10 times. So just like a for statement for I in 1 to 10 say echo hello. That's very simple script. At the same time, you could ask it for Python or anything in Python and PowerShell, awk and everything. So it could just give you right away that information. And then I could write it on the fly as well. But I just say, and this is in a demo, you could see that it is giving you that information there. And if you just want now say, go ahead now, give me in PowerShell, the same thing, it's going to give you in PowerShell. So that is 1 to colon 10. You could also say sequence of 10. That would also do that one. And you could do it within the backtick like that also. So there's a lot of different syntax here. If I just say Control C, that's good. And then say, can you write that in PowerShell? And then since I say write that, it has to know what I meant by write that. It's the previous question, right? So now let's see if machine learning is going to learn from me. And there's a branch of AI is called machine learning. So now machine is learning it, say, oh, I could write the same 10 times for PowerShell, and then for I is equal, and then this is the syntax of C and C++. So, and instead of I is equal 1, he just uses the $ I because it's a variable. Dash less than is using the dash LE, and then I to 10. You could also say 1 colon 10, dot dot 10, and then do that hello world there. So as an example, if I just wanted to say, okay, let me try the 2 examples that were given. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to come here. Since I know those 2, I'm going to Control C out of it, say by, slash by, clear screen, and I'm going to say which shell I'm using. So which bash, I know I'm bash, yes is there, equal $, 0 is there. I could write it in bash or just get into ZSH, Z shell. If I don't have Z shell, then I have to install it. So DNF installed ZSH. But let's just get this one with that bash that's already there. And so I'm going to say for I and the syntax, he tried it, say this syntax, say do echo hello world, and then I'm gonna say $ in front of here. We could just say $, $, then I, and then colon. So it will just do that one and then that. How simple is that, right? So it just does that one. But then if I say which laugh out loud cat, if that one is not there, I cannot do graphic on this one. So if I say the ZSH is the same, so I could say which ZSH is not installed, then I say sudo install, sudo DNF install and ZSH. Now Z shell is going to provide it to be available here. I'm going to say which install now, unable to find ZSH. So now it did not find it. I'm gonna say, and instead of this, I said DNF provides, and then say star ZSH to find out the package that provides ZSH. And then right here, it says something with the ZSH EPAL. So I have to get the EPAL packages. So right here, say DNF repo list. And then the EPAL, one of them is already there. And then the one that, this one, let me say grep -I EPAL. Wow, there's a lot of that one there. So what you could do is just open a terminal here And then let me just go open a terminal on this browser that I already have, and I say go to google.com and say ZSH package for RHEL9. So let's see what is the name of the package, and it says extra package enterprise EPEL, which is the same. So here might say DNS install EPEL release. So EPEL release is there, then you could install EPEL-release. So when I did here the command say sudo DNF repo list, and EPEL-release was not there. So I'm going to say sudo DNF install EPEL-release. This should install the EPEL release is complete, dependencies resolved. And so now it says already installed. But then I say DNF install ZSH, it's going to say I did not find the ZSH. Not root. I have to do DNF install sudo with it. Last minute that it still did not update it. So let's see on this documentation what it says. DNF install EPEL, which we did that one, and then once that one is done, then do that one. Apparently, this documentation didn't work because DNF install EPEL release, it says it's already part of it, is there. DNF install ZSH. And a lot of operating systems, these are so much easier, like Rocky, Fedora, and Ubuntu. But because Red Hat, they are now under IBM, a lot of the licensing subscription managers are like working like crazy different, and that is there. So like sudo is with dash, and then I say subscription and dash manager list, and you can see here subscription dash manager list. It should say my subscription, installed product status, this product ID is that, and then architecture is that. It doesn't give me a time whether it is valid or not or expired, and so this DNF repo list, it is showing that one, but I'm trying to see why it is an EPEL-release. DNF install EPEL-release. EPEL is there, but EPEL-release is not there. Yet it says dependencies resolved. Let me see if there's another way to just get the same. So as I was telling you that Red Hat is with the subscription, everything is different, and now you can see the subscription manager and the sudo install and this Fedora project, and then EPEL release for version 9 is that one. That means that I have to have this command on my browser here available first. So I have to go to Firefox here again, and then say go to google.com and say do a search on it, and then the search would be the same string that I search here, install EPEL-release on RHEL9 for Red Hat 9, and how to install EPEL release sent out the stream, getting started with EPEL Fedora docs. And I believe this one might help us out, but again, this is nonsense for software management, that you have to go with thousands of links in order to do it, rather than just go to the vendor's site and get it done. And if you support subscription, then make it easy for the open source community like it was before. DNF config manager, that's set in this one, and then install this one. So I have to run these two commands here, in order to do it for, that's CentOS 10. So in the 9 is CentOS RHEL9 is right here, this subscription manager command. Again, I like this related to the subscription manager. So for me, I'm going to just copy that line, go back here, and then on this one, I could just say, go to home, Wahid, and I made a directory called Ollama earlier. So right here, I say them zsh.text. Just giving me a text information here, paste it here, and then those two are there. And so I could just make those two packages there. Star.text here, cap minus n zsh dot text. Sorry, dot text, and then I could just run each of these commands one by one to just make sure that it is taking place. So I could have scripted to run it. Now, the subscription manager repo enable code ready builder for Red Hat 9. That was the system has no repository available through subscription. And that's another difficulty with the subscription. Let's see if it gets installed this part, which is the one that RPM that we need here. If it doesn't, I don't need ZSH. I just was going to do a demo for you, and dependency resolved, already installed. So that is there, but then DNF installed ZSH, and then it says not available. And DNF provides star ZSH. See if there's another package that are there here. 5 more. I forget it. Don't worry about the ZSH on Red Hat. We could just assume that if they fix their subscription issues, and then it's a piece of cake. If I just do the same thing with Ubuntu, let me show you just how easy it is there. So I am done with this one on the algorithm. This one, I'm going to shut it down. Shut down -H now. I could just look at all the processes of and those ones stop it. But when you do shut down at this time, this is a demo machine. I could always rebuild it, and I'm not worried about it. But look, if I go here on Ubuntu, and then I just show you how easy it is for a lot of these utilities for Linux Ubuntu or Rocky version and other ones, it's very easy. So while this one is rebooting, I'm going to show you on PowerShell the same command how you do that one that was there. So on PowerShell, since I'm on PowerShell here, get-host, I'm running PowerShell version of 5 point something, right? And this one, I could just also go to this other PowerShell. If I just close all of this and just say, open this one as version 7, that's 7.53. Notice that get-host return kind of like a hash key pair value, key value pair, key value. So if I just run the get-host as an object and say .version, then I say 7.53.1 revision 1. And if I wanted the .revision, I could get it from here too. It's because it's a hash table. It is just going to give you that information. But if I wanted a major, which is 7, I could just type in major here, and it's not case sensitive. So you type in uppercase major or lowercase, it is going to look at that key value pair. And then at the same time, if I want to say, give me the UI, you get that one. So why am I showing you the version? I could go here on any directory and then say, okay, now I have that command available. Let's just go 1 to 1000 and then just say echo alert word. So this one is going to also do like a laugh out loud cat, which is another utility for colorful. And notice how efficient, fast it is there. So if I just change this one to between 1 to 10, for 10 lines, and then don't laugh out loud cat. By default, this one is going to just show it in a white color, regular text, right? So if I just do it for 1 to 100, that was it. If I just do it, jump in from 5 to 10, let's say 5 to 10, I start with 5 and to 10, and it's there. And then if I just say out dash rainbow, and then it's going to do the color. Every time you do that one, it is doing. Equivalent to out dash rainbow is this laugh out loud cat command that is also provided on the Linux platforms as a utility. So I downloaded a laugh out loud cat, but out dash rainbow is a command. So if you say get command out dash rainbow, this is part of the commandlet of PowerShell. And if you say get dash help out dash rainbow and then dash dash online, this will open, out dash rainbow get help out dash rainbow. No, not the dash dash one line online dash examples. Yeah, dash example give you that one. Why dash other ones or not? So like here you could see dash full dash detail dash examples. So dash online for this command is not available, but if it is for like get dash process, it is available. You see dash online is there. So some commands they don't have it, some commands they do. Now if I say dash online, this one will open it on the browser and you can just read that information here. So let's just say on that out dash rainbow, if I say get dash command here, and then just say show me the notepad.exec. Notepad.exec, it tells you that it's actually a a Windows command. Similarly, like type command, if it is a command, get dash type is an alias, or say pwd is an alias pwd is there, or something like that. So imagine how simple it is for you to just say, give me these commands, laugh out loud count, what is a function, a utility, or anything. So this is on Linux that on Windows, Microsoft Windows. I'm going to show you the same thing with ZSH to compare Ubuntu with Red Hat. So I like Ubuntu much more on Red Hat because Red Hat subscription is making a chaos for developers. Like Sun Solaris was kind of deprecated as a result of Oracle making decision on just laying off some developers at the same time going to Linux. And then yes, the company is doing great for that purpose, but a lot of the software were really good, and a lot of this things, if they had enhanced it, the same version, the Solaris with ZFS and proc file system and all these other stuff that was on Solaris, including Java and other ones, was rocking all the time with Oracle database. And now they're using Oracle MySQL and other stuff, and they're still doing good. So let's go to this one and say which ZSH. And ZSH is not there, so I'm going to say on this one, I'm going to become root here, and then I just want to install. So for this one, application packaging toolkit, which app is the one, apt-get and app install is there, file, user, bin, app. So apt is the package manager, and snap is the package manager, Debian PKG. This one is a Debian distribution, OS release. So it's Ubuntu, and you can see this 4.04.3 long-term support, LTS, that's what it is. And the name of the code is Noble Number. So I'm going to just say, okay, that is good. Union Apache is a x86 64 platform, which ZSH is not there, but which Bash is there. So I'm not going to install anything yet. At this time, I could do that one with apt update myself. but say which bash is there. So I say, if I say ZSH, it's going to say, I did not find ZSH. Look how small it is there. And then you could install it with apt install ZSH. How easy it is that one. You don't have to know these commands, but it is now going there and it's finding it in the repository. Now apt ZSH is installed. And once ZSH is installed, you could do the same thing with debin pkg command. You can do it with the snap command. You can do it with apt command. So which ZSH is available now. And if I just go here and say which ZSH it's available. Now, if I say, go ahead, change my ZSH, it tells me that you want to change it to that ZSH or C stuff. I say, go ahead. Now I'm already on ZSH. Notice my plot change. PS is showing that my last shell is ZSH. So echo $$ is pointing to the process ID of ZSH. PS is your friend, and then echo $shells, and this is telling you that echo $shell is going to tell you that the default shell is bin bash, but ID-UN is telling me that my home directory is where. If I just want to get that one, I say get in password Wahid in this case. And then it says my home directory is home Wahid and default is bin bash. Similarly, I could say backtick here ID-UN, that would give me something. So now we're on inside ZSH. Let's do something with ZSH. So I'm going to do it for I, and I told you that you can do a backtick sequence of 10, and then backtick here, and then say do echo $I colon and say hello world, and then bend and then close it, and then so somewhere I missed a backtick or something. It says the quotation. So I'm going to control C out of this one, and I'm going to just up arrow, see what I did here for I and sequence of 10. I make sure that this is a backtick, and then right here is a backtick, and that's do, and then echo $not. Oh, I did not close that quotation here. That's what the problem was. So now it's going to say that. And then if I just say on this one, while you're there, just run that laugh out loud cat command, laugh out loud cat command, it's not there. Then now I say, okay, that one requires which laugh out loud cat. It is not there, so I have to install it. So if I say sudo dash, and then I say apt install laugh out loud cat. If it is coming as a package, it will install it. If it is a snap package, then it will tell me that it's not there. So which laugh out loud cat, it is not there. But the snap list will just say that, okay, maybe it is a snap package. So I'm going to say snap install laugh out loud cat. And then this one will find it as a snap package. Then I could do a snap show, laugh out loud cat, snap list, and snap this, all the information with snap. And then it is going to just make that package available. So it says now installed. So if I say which laugh out loud cat, it is there. As you can see, it's nice. It comes as a snap package. So a snap list will give you all the packages. If I just say a snap list laugh out loud cat, and then it tells me that it's installed. So if I say now in that same loop that I was doing earlier, let me just go exit out of this one and up arrow here, and then do the same thing. Now it's going to do that work. It's going to print out that one there with lines. And then notice how easy it is on Ubuntu, right? So you could do a minus frequency of 0.01 or something. You could just, so it did not understood that one, the cat dash frequency was recognized, but let me just say a clear screen cat -n etc os dash release. dash release, and then that is there, and then you say laugh out loud chat minus frequency. I think it is uppercase F, that's why 0.01. Yeah, it's the frequency, it's that duration. So if I just change it to 0.001, it's gonna give a different color. So the other command that I did here, you could have just done, and this one is uppercase F, and then the frequency to get it in green, you could put it in like that, and then I'll just print out hello world in green. So, but if you just don't give it any frequency, automatically it puts it like in a format that you made it there with different size in this. And if you just want to do it with non-sequence, and instead of sequence, you could do sequence of 100, or start with a different set, or then like range of Python, you could do different range of like 10, 2, and then 100. So jump off from 2 and then do that one, unknown file attribute. So let's see, sequence. Oh, this is just no comma. So every the sequence command that it takes it sometimes different argument set of that one, and now you can see that it's pick up by 2 up to 200 and there. And if you just want to do it faster, like the 2 becomes like 20, that's much faster, 10, 20, and then 30 and 40 and 50 and then so on, right? Age 20, 10, 30, 50, 70, 90. And so this is like really cool with the scripting. At the same time, if you just do this one and instead of sequence, you could just write in $sign sequence and then say 5 here. This would also work because 1 to 5 and then sequence there. Another syntax would be like right here, you could just say, go ahead and do it with braces 1 to 5. That would do the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to end this video with all the things. I'm going to stop this one also, and I'm going to not shut down this one the way I shut down Red Hat. I love Ubuntu. Just kidding. You could. I love Red Hat. I work on it all the time. So I'm going to log out here and say log out, and then this is another way you could gracefully shut down stuff. And then this one, I honestly work with Red Hat a lot, and I love Red Hat platforms, and it's very great software. Just I'm not happy with the way the subscription works. Hopefully Red Hat think of the developers and that they are struggling all the time to just get the software that we used to use. And then power off here. So now it's power off. And this one is power off. And then if I go back to my command line that I had, this one, if you look at it, say system info, find string, and instead of this one, I look at the memory, how it is there, I could see that it's back to what it was, 23 gig, because when I shut down Red Hat, it is released some of it. So out of the 32 gig, now my system performance is good. I'm gonna just stop Llama also here on this one. I don't need to run Llama, and then I'm gonna say close window, and then right here, and then see this one, and say quit Llama. So on the Windows now, if I do a curl, it's not gonna listen to it. That loopback interface is not listening. So that's what it is. And the way you could check it and say curl that port, and now it should say hanging or failed to connect because we're not listening to it. That's a good thing. So no port is open at this time. Security is important. And I'm coming back here. I'm going to stop this one. God bless you all. Please share these kind of videos, this knowledge. Help yourself, help your family, and help your community by sharing with other ones. You care about them, and taking care of each other is important in life. We all are not going to be here on earth forever. So let's be a nice person on earth and not a mean person. God bless you all. Bye.